Here's when I have a problem. So that doesn't shake. I mean, like I said, my family's a melting pot. That doesn't shake me. Where I have a problem is when you try to downplay in order to downplay the black women's movement or black women, and same thing with black men, because women tend to do that too. Anytime you try to put down a race or a gender to justify your actions, I have a problem with that, because you don't have to downplay somebody else just because you have a preference on something, right? And if your experiences necessitate you going in this direction, then that's fine. That's your experience. That doesn't mean it's experience for everyone else. All of it. So that's where I have a problem.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Not Your Average Aunties podcast, and I am Joe.
I'm Key.
And I'm Jay.
And we like to keep it real,
raw,
and relatable while sharing our opinions
and experiences
and feelings.
All right. What we talking about today? Interracial dating.
Damn, she just went right in
the little swirl in your black coffee.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on it? Who wants to go first?
I had mixed feelings on it because I am a product of an interracial relationship, but my preference is chocolate all day, every day.
Dark chocolate, milk
dark chocolate.
White chocolate.
I've gravitated more to the lighter side, but I prefer chocolate.
Okay.
Well, yeah, the closest, and it's probably wouldn't even be considered that, I've dated a Hispanic person before, but to me, really much dating outside. In my mind, it's not dating outside of my race. It's dating close enough to it.
Yes.
But outside of that, I never thought about it. It's never crossed my mind or entertained it. Now, while I never entertained it, I will not say that I never said someone of a different race wasn't attractive.
Yes.
They can be attractive to me, but not up to date.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I'm of the mind of love is love.
I agree.
Right? So who am I, especially coming from the background that I have and my family history where we're like a melting pot? For me, love is love. So it doesn't matter to me. If you find love and you find joy within that person, respects you, do you.
It doesn't matter. I don't care who, if you date outside your race. I would not judge anybody for dating the opposite. It's just not my preference, personally, for me. No one has ever, of a different race, given me enough to say, I would entertain this relationship with you.
Yeah. Okay. I also think that the thing that I feel that a lot of people get caught up on is they project. Right? So when you hear a lot of women that get so upset, especially now, when you hear a lot of women, when black men are dating women that are white, and you hear a lot of women like, oh, like I'll even bring in Jonathan Majors, right? So when that whole debacle came and he's running around, he was beating her ass, and then allegedly, right? And then he's being chased. So when you think about his situation, and I see a lot of black women, and I'm using him as an example, but let's just make it clear, whenever there's a black man that dates outside his race, you're always going to have there's a considerable amount of black women who's like, see, you're not, how come you can't love us? And I understand that feeling. Here's my point. I understand the feeling and the sentiment they have, but I won't say that it's rocked me so much because that person doesn't affect. I don't know him. I don't care about him or whatever. And I have my preference, right? However, what I don't like is when you have a number of different black men that want to talk down on black women, right? If you have your preference, that's fine. You can have a preference, but still support black women, right?
Yeah. When they talk about, the black woman, the black woman is angry, the black woman don't support the black woman.
All women give you the same attitude.
When it's everything negative
and nothing positive to say.
Positive to say, and that's their reasoning for dating outside their race. That's not your reason for dating outside your race. Let's get that real.
Well, we can.
Well, it shouldn't be a reason.
Well, we don't know what their experiences are, because sometimes you get a lot of fragile black men that it just was the 5th grade girl that, black chick in 5th grade that, rejected him. And all of a sudden now he's in 12th grade and he's like, black women. No, but that's a real thing.
I understand. I understand, but that should...
And then they have a preference, or maybe they grew up around a bunch of white women. Maybe they went to private school and that's all they saw.
And that's fine if that's your preference.
Just don't degrade
the reasoning behind your preference is what I'm not agreeing with, because a white woman or Asian woman or Hispanic woman can give you those same emotions and feelings and whatever it is that you're saying that you don't like about the black woman. You can get that from any woman.
Agree, but they'd argue. I'm playing devil's advocate, but they'd argue that, well, they never did that.
And that's a lie. That's a lie.
No, you can't say
to him specifically,
Right.
but you cannot generalize it. And that's the problem I have. It gets generalized.
And it goes on both sides. Same thing with black women. I have a big problem when people generalize things, period. Like, if you say things and you generalize it, to me, it's like, don't put that moniker or name on entire culture, because that's not just all black women. That's not true.
No.
All black men.
Right.
And let's make clear, when we're talking about this, we're talking about the black men that choose white women or choose outside the race. We're talking about anybody, whether you're a black woman that chooses to date outside your race. That's what this topic is about.
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that all black men are this, or like when I hear all men cheat, or all black women are promiscuous, or all black women are angry, or that's to me,
it's like, take it out.
but they don't say
what
they won't even use the word all. They'll say black women, black men, and then it's taken as if it's a generic thing, and then it's all, and that's not true, right? So whatever reason they choose to date outside their race, that's on them,
and that's fine.
Just
Whatever
don't-
your preferences, that's fine.
your preference, but don't down black women
To
justify why you
Why
went
you
And I
this
guess
way.
that's what I mean, to
Yeah.
justify.
Yes.
First of all, you shouldn't need no justification to do what you want to do with your life.
Yep.
Right? So,
Anytime you have to justify, that means you feeling a certain kind of way about it. You ain't 100%.
Right.
Why do I gotta justify it? If I'm fully confident, it is what it is.
That's what I like. Period. And it's okay. It is 100% okay. I know what my preference is. I would not judge nobody. My oldest brother's first wife was white, from German. Loved her, loved my niece, my nephews. That was a result of their union together. That did not shake me or move me at all.
Okay.
Here's when I have a problem. So that doesn't shake. I mean, like I said, my family's a melting pot. That doesn't shake me. Where I have a problem is when you try to downplay in order to downplay the black women's movement, or black women, and same thing with black men, because women tend to do that too. Anytime you try to put down a race or a gender to justify your actions, I have a problem with that, because you don't have to downplay somebody else just because you have a preference on something, right? And if your experiences necessitate you going in this direction, then that's fine. That's your experience. That doesn't mean it's experience for
Everyone else.
all of it. So that's where I have a problem.
Or even a double standard of a black woman dating a white man. You know, there's a double standard. Well, there's a lot of double standards.
There's a lot of double standards, yeah.
But those are one of the double standards. Like, just the same way you chose to date a white woman or Asian woman, whoever you chose outside of your race, a black woman has those same rights to do this.
Absolutely. So I really don't, for me, that I'm fine with it. What I don't like is when you try to talk down and just put us all in the same bucket, and this is the reason why, and then or make certain, well, I don't get the talking, a lot. So they'll say within other races, well, they don't give me the lip, they do whatever they want, there's less talk, less pushback, which, to your point, that may be their experiences, but
it's not because she's a black woman that she's not giving you pushback or giving you the lip.
Right.
That's just who she is. She just isn't.
That's who you chose. That's who you chose.
Right.
So yeah.
Do you think more black women fear dating outside of their race than black men dating outside of their race, and for different reasons?
I don't think there's a fear factor in it.
Well, I guess fear is not the right word. Concern or more thought, because of stigma of being called something by a different race because you're a black woman, like the thing, being called a nigger by your white counterpart, something like that.
So let me try to understand this question.
Yeah.
So what you're saying that there could are you asking, is there potential fear in dating and interracial dating because of stereotypical?
For instance, not even being called the N-word. I'm not understanding the culture.
The culture.
Okay.
That's a big thing, though. Yeah. And that's it. Not for nothing. That, like, interracial.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, period. Because you can even be even Hispanic versus with the black. It's different. Culturally, is differences, right? So there's something to you. There's an adjustment.
Right.
So two things. Even if you're within the same race, there's certain practices that maybe you have in your own family versus your partner's family that may be different. So that's automatically, you have to marry that up and get alignment there.
Yeah.
Factor in the race piece, right? And then the ethnicity piece, then there's more. That's another layer, and then when you factor in all the stereotypes on that is another layer. But when you have somebody that you coming from the same culture, you're just coming from two different families, it makes it a little bit more palatable just a little bit.
But do you think women have more fears or concerns? A woman would have more fear than a man would, trying to make those adjustments or try to help their partner understand.
Okay, go ahead.
I got it. So when a black man is dating a white woman, to him, she's not like wearing the fake hair, doing things like that.
They do today, but
they do now, but it's
they've
not
they've done it in the past. But carry
Yes.
on. It's not. They do.
With a white man dating a black woman, yes, there is fear because now he has to be open and want to learn more about our
Like
culture and things that we do,
Right.
like our rituals at night with our
going to bed with a
hair.
scarf on our head.
Yes, not touching your head. Yeah,
Right. Stuff, things like that. Like
Yes.
those things. Women have more concern.
we have more concern, but I think the white.
And those are some of the reasons why we probably choose, not just because of your preference, but you don't feel like explaining your blackness to somebody.
I don't. But see, you saying fear? I don't think
Maybe
a
fear is
black
not the
woman
right
would-
word. Maybe fear is not the right word, but there are
I don't
concerns.
think a black woman is going to be in fear of dating someone. If the love is there and if they have feelings for that person, they'll try and make it work because we've always been that individual to want to make something work within a relationship.
I think that there is, I don't know, I want to say a fear, but it is definitely a thought will cross their mind. I think that's also based on, it's generational. You get someone who's younger, who has been around a diverse setting, maybe that thought may not cross their mind.
At all,
if you get someone that's maybe Gen X, millennial.
Are they more siloed? They in with their people all the time?
Yeah, it could definitely. So it's a lot of different variables that could come into play.
Yeah.
I think that you speak to an older. What I mean by older, like I'm talking about millennial and up, black women. I've actually had this conversation when I was in this running group one time with a woman, and she was dating a white dude, and for her, it was her first time. But when they were talking, she specifically asked him, she was like, am I your first black woman? Because she didn't want to be the first.
Okay.
You know, she wanted him to have a little bit of
knowledge.
Concern, right?
Yeah, she was like, you need to, I'm not going to be, I need,
experience.
yeah. So then he had to say, no, that's all I date. That was his thing, so that's cool or whatever.
But is that a thing too?
It is. So there's a whole bunch of, it is a thing. I think when it comes to like interracial, there's a whole bunch of different things that come into play. There is a whole lot of different things that could come into play.
Yeah.
And I just think, again, I stand on it. Love is love. My preference is my preference, but I'm not going to ever judge somebody else based on what they want to do because that has nothing to do with me. And same thing goes with my children. I'm never going to judge because that's their lives. And y'all heard me say that a million times.
Yeah.
So I don't have to live their lives. That's their lives to live, right?
Yeah.
So they can choose whoever they choose. I just think that it boils down to making sure whoever you're with, they respect you and they love you. Or if it gets to the love piece, but at least they're respecting you.
It was weird. When I first moved up this way, the attention that I received from white men was a lot more than I've ever experienced. And because it was their thing up here. There was a lot of white men up here that liked dating black women and only wanted to date black women because they felt that the race was boring and we brought excitement to their lives. And it was just weird for me because I didn't experience that even in New York.
And I think I had a note on here about that. Yeah, and I guess that's where I was trying to get to my question without going down a list of things where it was like fear of cultural misunderstanding. Will they get my hair routine? Fear of fetishization, being someone's first black woman, man, like this is a science experience. Not being understood during moments of cultural pain.
That's a big one.
Yeah. And let's talk about that.
So it's a big one. Again, going back to understanding the person, learning the culture. It goes back to what I just mentioned earlier. Like when you have someone from the same culture and you're just two black people getting together, the alignment comes where you're just trying to marry both parties. His teachings are coming together. If you're coming from the same culture, it might be, not saying always, it could be easier, right? Because there's going to be cultural nuances that you're going to get. You layer on the ethnicity and the race piece, it gets a little bit more challenging. It forces you to have to learn a different culture, right? Now, the other thing I would say to that is, I wouldn't say it's 100% a deal breaker, but it causes you to have to educate a little bit more, right? So case in point, when you think about the black woman experience, and I'm always going to revert to corporate America because that's where I came from. So the black woman experience in corporate America and having to educate a white, let's say if my husband was white, like when I come home from work and I'm like beat down mentally, having to explain what I'm going through.
I mean, it's already that he's a man, but he's a white man.
That's exactly what I'm getting at, right? So you're a man, so you don't understand as a woman,
right,
what I deal with. And then now to say, okay, but not only that, I'm a black woman in this level, having to deal with all these things, having a responsibility. It's an educational piece, and not to say that you don't have to do that with a black man, because if they're not in that industry, they will do the same thing because they don't get it. Right. So you still have to do it, but then at least they may understand the pressures if you're explaining it right, and if they're willing to actually listen to you. Yeah. So it's nuanced.
And I think honestly, if you're interested in dating someone of a different race or whatever, you should take the extra step to learn more. Like it shouldn't have to always be them teaching you or giving you a lesson. Yeah. Like you should go out and learn some things on your own. Hang out with some different people, learn the different foods, the different, traditions and stuff like that. And just try to understand them without them having to explain everything all the time. Get some knowledge on your own.
And I think that's how they're coming into the relationships now. Like if they're seeking black women,
because they're having that experience in their childhood now, through friendship, through school, and through all things are so more diverse now than they were way back when. That they're experiencing these different cultures without it being, I guess, forced upon or it being new, because they're seeing it. I mean, you have the play dates. You're in school. People come in with different lunches or whatever have you. Like they dress differently. They talk differently. Yep. They're playing around. They're getting to know each other and what their cultures are. Where I learned a lot about different cultures through work. It wasn't from my neighborhood.
Working school,
right? Because I didn't really care too much for history. Not that it would have done much for me, anyways. But anyways, how do you get your child from mixed races? What impacts do you, and probably not so much today, but I know back then,
I wasn't black enough.
Yeah. So one of my good friends, her cousin has an interracial marriage, right? And she gets the experience of being the kid's nanny all the time. She's their mother.
Wow. Yeah. That burns me up though. That makes me angry.
Automatically assumption is that she's a care or something like that. She's not the children's mother because she's obviously, and she's not a dark-skinned black woman, but even that aside, they can tell you're a black woman and you have these children who appear to be white and they're actually mixed, and you get automatically pegged as the nanny.
And the thing is, she probably will never get away from that.
No.
And at some point you just got to dust, because people have assumptions. It doesn't matter what you do or say, unless you walking around with on her dress, I'm their mama, and people are gonna assume. That's what people do. Yeah. So it's up to her to just be like, I already see where this is going anyway. You know.
Yeah. Always just be either ignore them or you just respond and keep it moving if you have to respond to it. But those kids also, what was your experience outside of not being black enough?
I guess the first time I noticed it is when my mom came to school for the first time to have a meeting. I was in a gifted program in my junior high school years, and they needed to speak to a parent about filling out the application and explaining the program and what it entails. So when my mother came to the school, the looks that she received when they realized that she was my mother was not inviting. I didn't like it because they treated her differently now, because they knew who my father was.
Better or worse?
It was a little worse because she was in an interracial marriage. How could you date or how could you have a child? The looks that we received, it was just, even when we walked down the street, I was the darker one out of my two younger siblings, so it was just always looked upon as the black sheep, so to speak.
You felt othered.
Yeah, I felt othered all the time. That's And then around my friends, it was because I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness and I didn't do the traditional things that black families did. I was never black enough. Or I'm the white girl. That I was perceived because I talked better most of the time than other kids that were around me who would go down south during the summertime, come back up with the accent, things like that. So
I think to highlight some positive things of actually being in an interracial relationship is, you learn new things. You learn, if you have never tried before, a different type of dish or something like that you may like, right? You learn different type of activity, or you get a different life experience that you probably would not have had if you had not been in this relationship and somebody exposed you to these things. So I think you can talk negative about it all day long, but there are some beautiful and positive things that come out of interracial relationships. At the end of the day, like you said, love is love.
I'm of 3 nationalities, so my mother is half white, half Chinese, but she was born in Jamaica. Go figure. And my father's from Orangeburg, South Carolina. So I make this joke all the time. I am the product of a cotton picker and a monkey chaser.
Oh my goodness.
So this is how I've accepted.
I would not say that out loud.
This is how I make jokes of it, or gotten more comfortable with my heritage.
I would not say that out loud.
Why wouldn't I?
I think that to me has a negative connotation.
No, it doesn't.
it's not a lie. If he did pick cotton, he picked cotton.
I'm just gonna be quiet.
That's a lot. But I mean,
I know.
But listen.
But this is how I've been able to accept my heritage and be comfortable with it, because I still don't know all my history. I'm just now learning, and now that my dad is not here, he was the last to go. It makes it hard trying to gather information about my, history period. So it took a long time, and I'm finally comfortable with it. So that's my way of starting off a conversation, and I usually get these reactions.
If you say it I would expect you to get that type of reaction.
If you say it that way,
it opens up the door for conversation.
It just sets a tone. But when you say things like that, it just sets a different. It's a shock factor associated with it. So I think
that's the purpose.
I think that, listen, everybody has their own way of doing things, right? And when you add on, I keep saying this, but when you add on the complexity of racial, ethnicity, all that stuff, it just muddies the men and women, or whoever you choose, if it's women and women, men and men, whatever it is, joining two people together that are coming from two different places. So you just have to get that going. And there's just all these different other complexities. It's no different if you in two different religions.
Right.
It's just learning and trying to figure it out. I will say one thing I did pick up from, I was doing some research on this, and I was just trying to understand why black men may choose a different race. And one thing I came across on Threads, which was interesting, because this black man has said, you know what, I've never been attractive to black women.
Oh.
So I'm going to read that one more time. I've never been attractive to black women. They say I'm corny. So I go where people give the love.
Okay.
And then he said, I wanted to date black women, but they ain't checking for me. So I date Asian, white, Hispanic. His thing was like, anytime he approached a black woman, he wasn't finding him attractive. So if he kept getting beat down so much, he was like, I'm just going to go where I need love.
The attention,
So I understand that. And the thing is, and listen, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Of course, he put his picture up there. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. No.
You saying a lot. Why?
Saying a lot without not
saying it. Here's the thing.
You gonna find your love the way you find it.
You're gonna find your love the way you find it, and that's why people should stop judging and condemning.
Yes,
because you never know why.
I would too if I was him. If I'm getting some play from over here, I'm gonna go that way because you keep shooting me down. You saying I'm corny, and there was something else he said. I'm corny, or I just captured. I'm corny piece. I'm corny, and he said, or I friend zoned. Something to that effect. So his thing was like, I want to date black women, but these not
right. So if his type is with the set of
that's who's giving him play, right? He never said that was his type.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's a type for everybody. So his is meant for these particular people that are giving him the play versus the people that are not. So and at the end of the day, it still comes down to preferences. If I like to challenge him though, maybe he's not looking for the person for him. Maybe he's not checking for the black person that's for him. Because I feel like there is one out there. There's somebody out there for everybody. Yeah. So he just hasn't come across the one that's for him.
Yes.
True. So I can understand. Here we are. We don't know this man from a can of paint, but I could understand how he would go to the other because if he tries so many different times to holler at a sister and she either friend zones him or just be like, man, you look corny, or you this, you not my type. You keep getting that rejection. At some point, you're gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna go this way, unless you are solely convicted on just one black woman. But here's the catch: it only takes but one for somebody else to be like, okay, well, I like you. You never got no play over here, and you looking for a little bit of love. Yeah. The moment she goes, but I like you, you're gonna go that way.
And you can't blame him for that. I would never blame him for that. I would say that maybe I understand. I don't know how many black women have shot him down. Don't know how many.
Don't know.
It could have been 1. It could have been 3. It could have been 10. Whatever it was, like you said, that one time this other race entertained him as a possible suitor, he's gonna go that way for sure. But I would not think that there's no black women out there.
No, we don't know. Of course there is. And it's funny.
I don't think he knows.
It's not. But the same thing happens with us. Yeah. We're seeing more and more women, and I would venture to say they're younger than us, so they're millennials, right? That are going overseas, and they're going in different countries, and they're finding their mate. Because not to bash American black men, but the reality is, a lot of people say, the dating pool sucks here.
Mm-hmm.
So when they go abroad,
Yep.
they find, I mean, I've spoke to a lot of sisters that's like, they're lifting me up, and it's different races. It's black, but they're Asian.
One woman talk about when she moved to the Asian.
Yeah, she's like,
they love
good.
it.
So I'm getting, so for them, they're like, I'm going where the love is there, and then they're going and they're finding love, and they're getting married and having kids and all this stuff. And so I say, and then you get the passport bros, which that's a thing, because it's the crazy thing. It's arguments on both sides. You get the passport bros like, I can't find no women here. They all crap. So they go abroad. They be doing some wild shit, but they go abroad and they,
I never even heard of it in that term, passport bros. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, they be like, forget it. Black in America. I'm going to Dubai. I'm going wherever they can get it. That's something they getting a little attention. And it's the same thing. So
it's just crazy how we sitting here talking about this now, but it was against the law to even have interracial relationships.
People went to jail.
I'm in my mid 50s now, and it was only 5 years prior to me. No, not 5. 10 years.
No, it's more. Yeah, I was gonna say it's
67 is when they broke the rule, and but there's 16 states that it was against the law for you to have an interracial marriage or interracial relationship, and even worse if you product from it. Yeah.
I mean, like even Trevor Noah, he said it in when he was living in Africa that he's a product of interracial, right? His father's white, his mother's black, and growing up, like sometimes she had to like separate herself so like just to protect him because living in South Africa and apartheid, like that was some serious stuff going on because of the union, right? So he couldn't listen. It's not that far, like to your point, go. And I wonder, we're in the United States. I know we have a population of folks outside of the U.S. that listen to us, but I wonder what's going on now. Who knows what could happen, because we already know the state of what they're trying to do. They're trying to roll back a lot of stuff. So my whole thing is still love is love.
Yeah.
You just
find your person. That may be whatever shade, hue, practice, nationality, race, whatever they practice. If you can make happy, make sure
you're gonna get with Dr. Umar gonna bang us in the head, because Dr. Umar is like, you got to stay with your black folk, but there's people that feel that way, and I mean, here's the reality: you find your person.
You can't tell people who and what to like and love at the end. They're
gonna figure it out. Because I don't want to be. So my thing is, I say love is love, and I don't want to be a hypocrite because my husband, he's black, but
I don't think it's a hypocrite. That's your preference. Like, it's my preference. I choose not to date outside my race. That's my preference.
It's your preference.
I would be a hypocrite if I said that I don't want anybody. I don't want to be bothered with anybody that dates outside their race, and then say love is love. No. Do what you want to do. Love who you want to love. Be happy. Have happy relationship. Healthy with who you choose to do that with. But my personal preference is I like to date within my race. That's
now, suppose I have a question.
Go for it.
I'm going to throw this monkey wrench in.
Do it all. Shake the table.
You happen to have had strong feelings for someone who wasn't black. Would you have fought it and just continued to look for a black man? Or you would have entertained?
I would have the conversation. I would entertain it, but I would get past what the
was.
I would have to be really strong. I'm sorry. I'm not even going to lie. I have to be really strong.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, I've found people of different races attractive physically, and I need obviously to have a relationship. So if something in that person comes with that more than just what they look like on the outside, and those things are me, I can see myself exploring it and considering it because it's beyond they look like on the outside. They're piquing my interest for other things that I want to have in a relationship. So if they have those things, they have those qualities. Listen, before I met the person that I'm with now, my person was always tall, dark, full lip, like different. Always. I didn't anyone other than that. That's because in my mind, that's who I thought I should be. That's who was to me. I've stopped doing that because those people that fit that description was not fit for me. Okay. So now I'm open, or I was open to trying someone who wasn't tall, who wasn't dark. They ignited other things that said, okay, that made me interesting. Okay. They have them interesting, made me want to learn more, piqued my curiosity. So if somebody of the opposite in another race did those same things to me, I'm not going to say not. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say never. I just know right now what my preference is right now in this moment.
Okay. I think
it could change.
Love is love. Love is love, man. Love is love.
Would you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm all about, let me not say that because it'll cause this room. But I would entertain it if it was there. But the person that I'm with now, or I'm talking to, I'm hoping this is the last. We're working on it.
Okay. All right. Well, people, love is love. So you know, be projecting just because you have your own preference that you feel like everybody else should be on that time. Just do what you do for you. That's what and I think if people have less projection, maybe life would be a little easier.
And I think that's the thing. It's less projection, less judging. Because those things, like when you're projecting what your views are on somebody, you're actually judging people for not, to me, having those same views or opinions or thoughts. Because I'm not
right. And one other thing I would say is less projection, but equally don't be trying to put down another race just because that's not your preference. That whack, the bitch. All right. Have a good one.
What did we say? Real talk, real laugh. Because we are not
your
average aunties. All right, go get them. All right.